My book review is by a gent named Wagner, and it's a short little book, I think it's profound and provocative, and it's called Anglosphere's Broken Covenant. The Anglosphere's Broken Covenant. An Anglosphere would be essentially the historic English-speaking world. So England, Scotland, Ireland, and then Canada, the United States, Australia, and New Zealand. Okay? And I was interested in this small book because I wrote an article for the now defunct magazine Antithesis that was published back in the day. I wrote an article for them on this same topic, arguing basically the same thing. And this book, I think, does a much better job of it, much more thorough job of it. Even though it's a small book, it covers the territory very well. And here's the thesis of the book. In 1643, the nations of England, Scotland, and Ireland made a solemn league and covenant with the Lord. Okay? They made a solemn league and covenant with God. And this solemn league and covenant basically bound themselves and their posterity to a righteous, evangelical, and reformed service of God. Okay? Now, this covenant was binding, and although, and then, just a brief history, there was the English Civil War. The Solemn League and Covenant was 1643. Oliver Cromwell ruled as the Lord Protector for, around 15 years or so. He ruled as the Lord Protector. After he died, his son Richard was not able to hold it together, and Charles II was brought back in the restoration of the monarchy. So the monarchy was brought back by Charles II. One of the terms of Charles II coming back was that he subscribed again to the Solemn League and Covenant. All right, so the Solemn League and Covenant was contracted in 1643. There was the interregnum with Cromwell. Then after that, Charles II was brought back, and Charles II solemnly swore that he would uphold this Solemn League and Covenant, which promise, of course, he broke. Now, here's the thing, and this is the thesis of the book. Wagner argues, and I think compellingly, that you don't get to break covenants that way. And we all understand this. Let's say the United States made a covenant, a treaty, and a covenant with the Navajo, or here in my neck of the woods in Idaho with the Nez Perce. And let's say the issues involved in the covenant were still live issues, like fishing rights in the river or territory or whatever. Virtually everyone would acknowledge that a covenant made with the Nez Perce in the 19th century by our government would still be binding, right? Even though everybody who made that covenant is now dead. Now, if that's the case, why wouldn't it be the case that the Solemn League and Covenant was still in force? Well, someone would say it was revoked. It was repealed. You can't repeal, if you're going to repeal a covenant you made with the Nez Perce or a covenant you made with the Navajo, you can't just do it and then announce to the Nez Perce or the Navajo that you're reneging. In other words, England, Scotland, and Ireland entered into a solemn league and covenant with the Lord, with God, and God did not give them permission to renege. And the thesis of this book is that it's easier for him to show that Canada, New Zealand, and Australia, which were legally and constitutionally descended from the Commonwealth of England, that they, too, were bound by the Solemn League and Covenant and still are. It's a little trickier with the United States because of our break with the Commonwealth and the American War for Independence. But he argues, and I think convincingly, that our common law is still British in its origins, that we were revolting against a particular kind of tyranny that had arisen in the British Isles, and that our Declaration of Independence did not remove us, did not take us out from underneath the obligations of the covenant. So if you want, if you would like your political hair to be ruffled, if you would like to have some reasoning come into your life and make you think things you perhaps never thought before, I would get this book. It's a fairly quick read, Anglosphere's Broken Covenant by Wagner.